guys, it's the Outdoor Witch. I hope you're doing well today and welcome to my channel for anyone who's new. So, I recovered nearly overnight of 25 years of very severe eating disorders and about 20 of them as a bulimic. And as I said, I kind of recovered nearly overnight once I had understood two things that I'm going to share with you today. Once I heard and started applying exactly what I've learned, these two things I'm going to share with you, I think it just kind of changed like this in my brain, in my mind, in my body, and it was so easy to recover. But I guess all the struggle I've been through is now helping me share this with you, because I know it can be so hard to recover from eating disorders when you don't understand the full picture of it. So before we dive into this topic, if you're interested in having coaching with me, private coaching, I still offer some sessions. And also if you want to join my coaching program that will start August the 30th, please, you're welcome to join. There's the link below in the description box, and I'm doing an early bird price until August the 5th. So yeah, that was just to say if you are interested in that. But now, without any further ado, let's jump in the topic. So the two things that I've learned and completely changed my approach of my recovery, of trying to find a solution out of eating disorders, because probably just as you are suffering now, it was like a daily struggle. It was an ongoing nightmare. I just couldn't find my way out. And suddenly, once I had understood the two things I'm going to share, it was just like, so the first one was, I had to look into my thoughts and my belief that was keeping me having this bulimic behavior or anorexic behavior. And once you start looking into the beliefs and the thoughts you have regarding this disease, you can start to take a step back from it to become the observer. And so I realized that I wasn't bulimic. I wasn't my disorder. I had a bulimic disorder. I had eating issues, but I was not that. It was a part of me acting this way, but it was not me. And once you stop identifying with the disease, you can start seeing it with a different perspective and kind of take control over it, or at least see all the lies and the fears, the underlying beliefs that you have regarding the disease that keep you trapped, keep you stuck in this vicious cycle. So that was one thing. And the other one was that I had to address the hunger. Food was the other answer. Because if I was not addressing this anyway, whatever concept I would have understood, whatever you can have understood about yourself or why you're doing this or why it gets you stuck into this vicious cycle, if you don't address the hunger, the food, the fact that your body, your cells are starving, you're going to keep falling back again and again, because it's like a cry for survival. Your body, your cells, your entire being is crying, is shouting out for food because it needs it to stay alive. And so these are the two things. And in today's video, I'm going to address the first one. And in the next one, I'll go into hunger and how you can deal with that. So very practical things, because I think that's what we need when we want to get out of eating disorders, is practical tools that we can apply on a daily basis. You are not your eating disorder. You are much more than that. This is only a part of you that is suffering, crying, trying to be heard, but it's not you. It's a behavior you have, it's habit you have, it's something that actually you don't want anymore, that doesn't serve you. And if you start looking at it as something else, you can take this step back and see, like, do I really want to keep on with that behavior? Is it serving any purpose? Is it helping me? Or why am I acting like this? So the very first thing I would advise you to do is take this step back and start looking at your disease, at your disorder as something that is, but it's not you. Okay, it exists, it's a fact now, but it's not you. And it exists because, and this is super important, you have belief systems that support it into being, that has created it and that supports this disease to stay in your life and to be there and to remain there and to ruin your life. But it's not who you are. There was something that was created due to this belief system you have about food, about yourself, about your body, what you need to eat, what you shouldn't be eating, whatever. There's tons of reasons and beliefs that are supporting this eating disorder. So take a look into your belief systems. What do you believe is true so you keep on with that behavior? What do you believe that you have to do and that the only answer to it is binge eating and purging or starving yourself in order for you to keep going on with that behavior? Because think a minute, if you realize that it's actually the beliefs you have are actually completely wrong, then why would you keep on doing it? So it's because you think it's true and you think it's serving a purpose that you keep on doing it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have any power over you anymore. And after a while, you would be like, no, I'm not going into that again and again. Because you know, let's be fair, you know that it's detrimental for you to binge and purge or starve yourself. You know that you're not doing any good to yourself, to your health, to your overall life and level of energy. So why do you keep on with that behavior that is detrimental, that is slowing, destroying you? It's because you think it is helpful, that you need it, that it's serving a purpose, that actually is helping you. Do you see the contradiction behind this? So it's doing yourself some harm, it's doing pain, it's hurting your body, your cells, even your brain, everything, destroying your life to certain extent. But still, you keep on doing it because your belief system that supports it is so strong that you are convinced that it's better to keep on with that behavior than stopping. So what are the belief system you have that are supporting this behavior? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Because only then you can start questioning it. Now you have to be aware of this. Very often it's related to huge fears, like core fears that we have, really deep inside us. Because if you look into the beliefs you have, if you look really at the core of it, there's a fear. And this fear usually is the fear of not being loved, of dying. Let's say you don't want to put on weight, but what's behind the fear of putting on weight? What does it mean? If you put on weight, how will you feel? What is the consequences of putting on weight, if that's your issue? But it can be something else. Maybe you binge eat because you are afraid of feeling something. What is the risk? What is at stake if you start feeling things? So you have to look, and you have to dare look into these deep core fears that you have, because they hold the key of why you cannot give up on the detrimental behavior that you have, on that disease that is so much part of your life, on like every day, all the time, obsessing you. Now it can be also fears related to food, the fear of eating. Why are you so afraid of eating? What does it mean if you start eating? What's the consequences of it? So that is the shadow work you have to do, is to look into these beliefs and the fears that are behind them. And fears are super tricky. They are very, very clever, because otherwise, if they were not so good at twisting the reality, twisting the truth, we wouldn't believe them anymore. We would just say, hey, that's just a fear. It's just telling me rubbish. I won't believe it because it doesn't make sense. But they are so good at placing or putting things in certain way that we keep on believing them. And very often the fear is acting in a way that we don't even dare to look into it because we are scared of what we might find there, or we are scared that it might not be true and that something that we've believed in for so long is actually not true. And sometimes this is so painful, we don't even dare to go and look. So your fears are so smart that they keep you trapped in a way of thinking in order to survive. Because otherwise, if you stop believing in your fear, they won't be so active anymore. They will kind of disappear into thin air and not having any more power over you. So in a way, just as your body is actually starving for food, your fears are starving for attention, for you to pay attention to them and care about them. They are so afraid of not existing anymore. These fears, they are screaming for attention, they are shouting out loud, and they make so much noise that you just go and pay attention to them instead of the truth, which is usually much more quiet, calmer, peaceful. So this is the first, very first things, and it's a key to you setting yourself free from your binge eating or other eating disorders. Look into this belief system, what the fears are, what fears are supporting it. What do you believe is true about food, about yourself, about your body, about your emotions, about your worth? And then you can start taking a step back and deciding for yourself, is it worth keeping on with that belief? Is that belief still serving me, or should I just let it go? Because it has served a purpose. Thank you very much. But now I'm done with it. I don't need that belief anymore. Now you have the thought you have about food, about binge eating, about purging, because of the belief system that supports it. So once you start looking into your belief system, you start dismantling even the thought that you have about food, the thoughts you have about your eating disorders and the way you have to go and eat, you have to go and purge, you have to starve yourself. And this is why I said at the beginning that you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are a part of you. They come from the belief system you have, but they are not you. And if they are not who you are and that you are much more than them, you can have control over them and which one are serving you, which one you want to have, and which one are not going in the direction of who you want to be and to become. You want to be bulimia free. You want to be eating disorder free. You want to have an amazing life. You want to be able to choose what you're going to do of your day and not just being like a muppet acting on the impulses of your brain, of this body that is starving for food, of these thoughts that are just telling you you have to binge eat and then you have to purge. You want to have control over yourself and your life, but in a positive way. And by noticing the thoughts that come along with the belief system, we will allow you step by step, every day getting better and better at putting things into perspective and deciding, do I act on that thought or do I prefer to choose another one? And it takes a bit of time at the beginning, or let's say it takes a bit of a conscious effort to choose another thought. And for that, I have something that I call the refocus. This is an example of how you can implement this refocus exercise. Let's say something happened and you start having these impulses that you should go and eat, and it's getting stronger and stronger until it really becomes like a craving, and then you just can't, you really have to act upon it, or you think you have to act upon it. If you try to say, no, I don't want to go there, no, I don't want to think about it, oh no, it's not going to work, because you are actually feeding the thought. It's like you give even more attention to it by saying like, oh, I don't want to be thinking of it, I don't want to be thinking of that. It's even worse. let's say you have these thoughts that you don't want. They're not, you know where it's heading. It's heading to you binging, it's heading to you purging and feeling so weak or really bad about yourself. And yeah, you don't want to do that, but you just can't stop thinking of it. So first thing is to go into a neutral mental state, kind of a mindfulness state. So the best for that is to go into the present moment, to empty your brain, to be in this neutral emotional state. And you can do this by becoming totally absorbed in, let's say, in looking at the landscape or at an animal or at something else. Just really refocus your brain into something completely different, completely neutral. And try to have no feeling at all, no emotion, just very neutral. And when you reach this neutral state, then you can refocus on something that really interests you or would be way better. And it can be another activity, it can be doing something else, it can just be thinking of something else, you know, project for the future, calling a friend, doing something else. So you have this really annoying thoughts and, you know, like obsessing thought about something that is going to lead to a binge or purge or something detrimental to you. First thing, you go into this neutral state. And then once you're neutral, then you can move to something more positive, more productive, or more beneficial to you, whatever it is. It can be an activity, it can just be doing something, reading something, or just thinking of something else. And that refocus exercise is great because it really helps you correct and retrain your brain to think differently. Instead of going down that lane of obsessive thoughts about food that are going to be nourished by more and more and more, and then you just can't stop it and you just lose it because you've been thinking about food and eating and purging for hours. Let's say, you know, if you have been able to control yourself so long, but then in the end you're just going to crack. So now you refocus everything into something more positive. And once you do this again and again and again, you are creating a new pathways, new neuro pathways, and you are really changing the plasticity of your brain. And it really means that physically your brain is starting to look different. And it doesn't take so much time, believe me. After a while, it's so easier for you to redirect your thoughts and don't go and down these vicious cycle of thoughts, and you just don't want to go there anymore because you know how easy it is to just change your focus to something else and do something else instead. So that was it for this video today, is how to become really aware of your thoughts, of your belief system, and how you can start retraining your brain to work with you, along with you, into creating a better future for you. But this is not going to work if you don't attend to your hunger, food, the nutrition, the nutriments that your body needs. So that's the topic of the other video. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and I hope this is useful to you wherever you are on your journey towards recovery. Please don't forget, you can always ask for help. There are people willing to help you, but I know you might just want to make it yourself, and you can also do it this way. So all the best, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.